We're now going to have a close look at your digital camera. It is essential to get to know the vital components and become familiar with them. There will be many functions we won't cover here, as we're focusing on the fundamentals to take good quality photos. Before taking any pictures, it's very important that you set the time and date. If you don't do this, then when you come to import your pictures into your computer, it will become very difficult to find your photographs, and many of the automatic features used in Windows Photo Gallery and Picasa will not work correctly. Here is a simple explanation of how a digital photo is taken, transferred, edited and printed on a computer. Step 1. You take the photo as normal. The camera translates the image into a digital format using an internal chip. It is then transferred to the card. The photo is transferred onto your computer. Software stores it into your designated picture folder, normally My Pictures. You decide if you want to edit the picture, and finally it's shared or printed. The lens is the opening at the front of the camera that allows the light to come through and create the image. It can magnify the image depending on the size of the optical zoom on your camera. Seeing what your picture will be like, you use the viewfinder or LCD display. Some cameras only offer an LCD display, while others have both. The LCD display is also used for viewing stored photos and setting menu options. It is essential for composing a good quality picture. We'll come to this soon. Let's talk about the zoom next. There are 3 types of zoom. Digital zoom, which should be avoided and can be achieved on your computer. You can see here, when we're composing our shot, using the digital zoom causes the image to look fuzzy or pixelated as it's called. Optical zoom, which can be used for magnifying and best used with a tripod. You're restricted by the size of your optical zoom, but use the zoom, like here, to move objects out of the foreground and simply to get in closer. Your best zooming option is your legs. Get in close, walk towards your subject and get in as close as possible for the right shot. You can see here all 3 examples at work. Using the digital zoom, the optical zoom, and the best way, using our legs to get in close. Remember, close-up shots make for more interesting photos, and additionally, try and find something interesting for the foreground. This can have a major positive impact on the final image. Flash is used to compensate for the lack of light when taking pictures indoors. You need to be aware that your eyes are far better at seeing things in the dark than a camera with flash, so anything further than 2 or 3 meters away in a photo will appear poorly lit. Using flash in daylight can vastly improve a photo. Let's have a look now at using the flash. Let's demonstrate if your subject is too close. This happens. Or if it's too far away, it will be dull with too much noise. Switching off the flash may result in a better picture, even in low light. If you've time, get in close and try with a flash and without flash. Remember, anything in the background will be poorly lit. It will appear dark or black, which is not always a bad thing. Out in daylight, flash can be used to good effect. Let's show you how. If you're taking a photo towards sunlight, then using the flash will compensate for the bright light, meaning the foreground and background will appear more evenly lit. You can see the difference here without the flash, then with the flash on. You can easily disable flash in your camera like this. Check your manual for how to do it on your camera. The photo is taken using the shutter release button just here. There are 2 stages to the process. Press the shutter release halfway down until the LCD screen shows an indicator. The green box here shows where the automatic focusing area will be when the photo is taken. To take the photo, press all the way down. You will hear a click, and the image taken will be displayed on the LCD for a limited time. To change this setting, go into the camera menu options and change to your desired time. The photo is then stored on board in the card for later transfer. Let's have a look now at setting the camera, then moving it in order to set the light correctly. We press the shutter halfway down, and the camera senses the brightness and sets the exposure for this. When we take the photo, our subject is underlit. So let's now move the camera to focus on a darker area of the subject. Half press the shutter to lock the settings, move the camera to frame the picture, and take the photo. You'll see how the subject is better lit. What we're showing here is the camera is not always right, and we must use simple techniques using our eyes to get the correctly composed shot. Each shot needs thought from yourselves. The camera needs directing to constantly take good photos, and from some extra thought, you can take better photos. Let's now touch on some areas which you need to have a basic understanding of, but it's not necessary to fully understand. Firstly, let's look at the aperture. The aperture is the size of the hole that allows the light through when the shutter release is pushed down. This is reflected in F numbers. The lower the F number, the more open and more light is allowed in. This is best used in dark situations. The higher the F number, the less the light. This is used in bright daylight. When you change from portrait to landscape mode, what you're doing is changing the aperture. It's worth experimenting by swapping the modes around. The shutter speed on compact digital cameras is automatic, but some cameras will have different settings that speed the shutter up for sporting events or slow it down for taking photos of the night sky. Let's have a look at some examples. Taking a photo of the moon, you want a slow shutter speed, and the camera has to be held steady, so a tripod is essential. Set the mode to nighttime, position your tripod safely, and use the optical zoom only. Take the photo, and you'll notice a longer delay in taking the picture. For fast action sport events, like a football match, change the mode to sport. A tripod is not crucial here, as the shutter is so quick to give the impression of fast action sport. Track the movement of the players and take the photo whilst the camera is still moving. You can get a blurry effect of the background, which indicates movement. Another mode on most digital cameras is the macro mode. This mode is ideal for taking photos of flowers, plants and insects, and any extreme close-up shots. You will notice when you turn on this mode, you can move in close to an object and it will stay in focus. When using this mode, it's better not to use the zoom, but to move the camera closer to the object. You will see on the front of your camera how many megapixels your camera uses. If space on your camera card is not an issue, then set to the highest number and the best quality. But if you find yourself running out of space on your card, then you can reduce the number of pixels per picture, and you'll notice that you'll be able to fit a greater number of photos on your camera card. But these pictures will be of a poorer quality, and if you print large size images, you will notice a blurring effect, or pixelation as it's called. The self-timer is a great feature for getting yourself included in the picture. To compose the ideal picture using a self-timer, you do really need to use a tripod. All you do is set the camera to self-timer. Compose a picture. Don't forget to decide where you'll be in the shot, and then push the shutter release, and you'll hear a beeping sound. You will have approximately 10 seconds to get into place. Shortly before the picture is taken, the rate of beeping increases and the shutter will fire automatically. The rule of thirds is a crucial aspect of taking photographs. It is used in all visual art forms, from filmmaking to classical paintings. It is a rule of thumb for composing pictures, and it's really very simple to follow. If you divide your picture into 9 equal parts, much like in a noughts and crosses game, with 2 horizontal and 2 vertical lines, the important parts of the composition should be on these lines. This always makes a pleasing visual image. Next time you see a striking picture or film, just imagine the horizontal and vertical lines and you'll see that it applies. Some cameras do allow you to display this grid. One way of creating a picture with greater impact is to use a different angle. Try getting down low or taking shots from above. Put the camera at 45 degrees. And don't forget to turn the camera through 90 degrees when taking pictures of tall objects. Framing the shot. To give an interesting image, look around and see if you can naturally frame the shot. For example, under a bridge, by a tree, through a window or door. It's not always possible, but if you can achieve it, I think you'll find the results rewarding. Taking a picture in landscape mode is the usual way, holding the camera horizontally. But when taking pictures of tall buildings, trees or people, especially just head and shoulders shot, then holding the camera vertically in portrait mode will give the best results. Focusing is automatic on most cameras, but you must keep an eye on the indicator that shows the focused area on your camera, otherwise you may find that your subject is blurred or out of focus. Depth of field indicates the area of a picture that is in focus. If you use the landscape mode on your camera, you'll find that everything is sharply in focus. This is a large depth of field. If you use the portrait mode or macro mode, you'll find that only the subject is in focus and the background is out of focus. This is called a shallow depth of field.